heavens and the earth. I know there's a reason for the created births. I know there's a reason for turning dust into flesh. I know there's a reason for...
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the third installment of this mini Halo series on the Beatitudes, where we explore the teachings of Jesus and hopefully in a way that speaks to our everyday lives. I'm Jeff Wambold. Y'all should know me by now, but just in case. Today, we're diving into the second Beatitude from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. I'm taking this from Matthew chapter 5, verse 4, okay? And not from the Gospel of Luke. So now, at first glance, this might seem like a contradiction. How can mourning, one of the deepest expressions of sorrow, be something that leads to blessing? Why would Jesus say that those who grieve are, in fact, blessed? Let's find out. Let's unpack this. Let's dissect this powerful statement and see what's up. Let's see why we should have hope. When we hear the word mourning, what do we think of? I think about grieving for someone I love. I think most of us do. And while that is part of it, Jesus' words go deeper. They usually do, don't they? Let's dig in a little. The Greek word used for mourn in this verse is pentheo. Pentheo. P-E-N-T-H-E-O. And it refers to a deep, soul-wrenching sorrow. This kind of mourning isn't about personal loss, okay? It's much, much bigger, if that makes sense. What would be bigger? Well, we have to think outside of ourselves as individuals. Think war or famine, the brokenness of the world, maybe in terms of God, the effects of sin, and our own spiritual shortcomings. Think about what God might mourn over. That's what I'm talking about here. In addition to that, this beatitude, blessed are those who mourn, is closely tied to repentance. Now, what does that mean? It means that those who can recognize what I mentioned above, the weight of sin, spiritual shortcomings, other things, war, famine, all the brokenness, and they grieve over it. That's important. And they grieve over it, they are humbled before God. That word humble comes up a lot, doesn't it? It's the same sorrow David expressed in Psalm 51. This was after his sin with Bathsheba. And if you don't know the story, here's the short version. David was king at the time, king of Israel, and he became infatuated with a woman named Bathsheba. The problem was she was married to a man named Uriah, but that didn't stop David. He commits adultery with her, and she becomes pregnant with his child. And to cover his tracks, to cover his sin, David arranges for Uriah to be sent off to war so he could be killed in battle. That's evil. But some good comes out of it. That's the silver lining I talk about all the time. David repents. Sure, it doesn't bring back Uriah or the child that he and Bathsheba had as a result of the adultery, but he repents. That's pentheo. He has deep sorrow for what he did. He's truly sorry. In Psalm 51, verse 10, David says, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." Back to the Beatitude. David's mourning wasn't hopelessness. It was sorrow, and it was being humbled that led to transformation. It led him to be closer to God. And that's the key, actually. True mourning in a biblical sense. It brings us closer to God, and that's what allows us to experience his comfort. The second part of this beatitude is the promise. And what's the promise? It's comfort. That's the promise. Blessed are those who mourn. That's the first part. And then the promise, for they shall be comforted. But, more questions, what does that comfort look like? The type of comfort that needs to come after experiencing pentheo, or deep sorrow. I don't think the answer will surprise you. First, it's the comfort of God's presence. Doesn't get any bigger than that. In Psalm chapter 34, verse 18, we're reminded that, and this is a quote, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit." So comfort. God doesn't leave us in our mourning. He meets us there. He meets us in it. And secondly, there's comfort in hoping. Being optimistic is powerful. Having hope is powerful. And we should have hope. And here's why. For us, for believers, mourning isn't the end of the story. Jesus experienced sorrow. We don't know how many times, but more than once for sure. He wept at the tomb of Lazarus. He grieved over Jerusalem, and he suffered on the cross. But it's not the end. Through his resurrection, Jesus showed us something. Many things, actually, but one of them is that joy will come to us. Revelation 21 verse 4 gives us a glimpse of the future when it says, "He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain any more, for the former things have passed away." There it is, comfort. This is what Jesus promised, the ultimate comfort Jesus promises us. It goes beyond temporary relief to an eternal hope. So what does this mean for us? Well, first, you, me, we all need to know that it's okay to mourn. It's not a sign of weakness. It's okay. It's actually healthy. So bring it. Bring your sorrow to God. He welcomes it, and he wants you to bring it to him. And don't hide from it, because you really can't. So don't waste your time trying. Instead, here's an idea. Let the sorrow lead you. Lead you somewhere positive, maybe towards repentance, like we talked about before. Why not? Repentance will renew us. That's positive too. God doesn't want us stuck in guilt. He wants to restore us, of course. So let your sorrow lead you there. In 2 Corinthians, we're told that God comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort those in any trouble. That was chapter 1, verse 4, by the way, 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 4. So again, this is a verse that has two parts. Many of them do. Two parts. The first part that says, God comforts us in all our affliction, that one simply means that God is with us always, even during difficult times. And not only that, he offers us comfort during our struggles. That's comforting. And then the second part, it says, so that we may be able to comfort those in any affliction. So we're helped, and then we are to help others. We become tools to help others because we were comforted by God. So the purpose, and there's always a purpose, the purpose of God's comfort is to what? Equip us, right? Equip us to offer the same kind of support. That's another way to say comfort, isn't it? But to offer the same kind of support to other people who are now suffering. We pay it forward. I like that. Jesus' words in this Beatitude remind us that mourning is not something to avoid. It's something that when we bring it before God, it leads to his peace and his presence. So if you're in a season of mourning today, know that you're not alone. God sees you. He hears you. And he's near, and he will comfort you. Thanks for tuning in today. If this message encouraged you, share it with a friend or reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear how God is working in your life. Our email is bluehalopodcast@gmail.com. That's bluehalopodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, folks, may you walk in his peace and comfort.